Just to be upfront with everyone right now, we've got bad news and badder news. And a side of terrible news all around. We're going to be pulling from a bunch of different sources today. We're going to cover this article first, though, by Jason Schreier through Bloomberg. Sony's Bungie game unit cut staff following delayed titles. Now, let me just also say this, because this is almost too hard for me to believe. If at any point this comes out to be some sort of troll, say something now. Tell me. It's what is it? October 30th? I don't know. Tell me this isn't actually happening right now. But as far as I know, this is really what's going on. I know Jason's legit. I'm just making sure there's not there's no April Fool's bullshit happening right now. Let's start from the top. Sony's Bungie game unit cut staff following delayed titles. From Jason here, Bungie, the Sony-owned game studio behind Destiny 2, let go an undisclosed number of staffers according to people with knowledge of the matter. In an email to employees seen by Bloomberg, Bungie Chief Executive Officer Pete Parsons said staffers would be hearing some news today and that there would be a team meeting later in the day to discuss today's events. The company didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. The reason why this whole article is not loading right now? Did anyone, hold on. I think the article just got deleted. Did anyone take screenshots of this article? Okay. We got a screenshot. The article froze up on me, and I know we're on light mode right now. Just bear with me right now. Okay, starting here. Bungie recently delayed an upcoming Destiny 2 expansion, the final shape, until June from February, pushing it out of Sony Group Corp's current fiscal year, said the people who asked not to be identified because they weren't authorized to speak publicly. Bungie's next game marathon will slip to 2025. Sony, which purchased Bungie in early 2022 for $3.6 billion, has been cutting staff across its PlayStation division this year, in part due to delays. The unit lost several key producers this year, and PlayStation boss Jim Ryan said last month he will retire in March. Thousands of video game workers have been let go in 2023 so far, as companies look to cut costs even after a year full of hits. Last month, Epic Games cut around 900 staff. All right, so just to give you a follow-up on this, guys, from Jason himself on Twitter, to be clear, Bungie recently told staff that the final shape and marathon are delayed. It was not made public until this story, until today. And I guess Jason wasn't supposed to say anything, or the people that told him that weren't supposed to say anything, but it is being delayed until June from February. We have never had a June release. Never. I guess at the same time, at one time, we've never had a February release. This is huge news because I thought Bungie had, since securing funding from Sony, that they were getting on that annual cycle, a good cycle there every year. This is also going to push everything back. Everything from the episodes that they're bringing us, all that stuff. Everything is getting pushed back. This is going to have huge ramifications because it's not just the annual expansion that's getting pushed back, okay? It's these episodes. They had episodes here. Look, March to June, July to October, November to February. I mean, these things are not things that are easily moved. And the issue with this that I see, this is why this is so alarming to me right now, is that Bungie has announced in the past when they were going to delay an expansion. We've seen it, right? Witch Queen is a great example. I think what's Beyond Light was also delayed, right? Shadowkeep was also delayed. I think Shadowkeep was delayed by 30 days. Beyond Light was delayed to November. Witch Queen to February. The issue is with those expansions, or at least the good thing is with those expansions, is that whenever it was delayed, we had so much notice. It wasn't as if it was delayed after the expansion was revealed. In this case, Final Shape has already been revealed to us. And not only has it been revealed, the roadmap has been laid out for the things that are going to be following that annual expansion, that being episodes, which is a huge deal. We're going into the last season ever in Destiny next season. Are we going to get another season? No. What's going to happen is next season is just going to be a super, super long season. It's going to be like Season of the Lost. That was like almost a 6-month season. And that's exactly what we're going to get here with this next season. And let me just say, guys, a 6-month season, that's long, dude. It feels long. This one's actually going to be more like 7 months because the new season starts in November. So it's November 28th when it starts. Another thing that's happened today is there has been a ton of layoffs at Bungie. Most notably CM positions that these layoffs are happening. So I think that's why this information got, I guess, leaked, because of maybe one of these people that was getting let go. Maybe they said something. Community manager positions, guys, that are now vacant. Now, here's the thing, guys. Even from Destiny Tracker right here, we're still currently waiting for Bungie to confirm. I almost guarantee this is lighting such a huge fire right now at Bungie. Whatever plans they had to announce the delay, I have no idea when they were going to announce it, though. You got to announce it. You had to announce it back when the final shape was revealed. That's really when it should have been said. And it would have actually developed some momentum to be like, hey, listen, guys, we didn't get Lightfall right, but we're going to get final shape right. You're going to get that last expansion, that final annual expansion. That's going to be an absolute banger to the Light and Darkness saga. We're going to delay it until June. It's going to be great. This right here, man, it being delayed like this just screams internal problems right now. DMG tweeted. So by the way, DMG was actually a community manager for years for Destiny 2, and just an all-around great guy right here. But he tweeted out this: getting texts from friends impacted by layoffs this morning. It is frustrating, infuriating even, to continue to see people who strap in to do good work losing their financial security due to poor management. The continued echoes of poor decisions made that feel avoidable. In a few of these cases, knowing how much effort these folks put in during incredibly difficult development and sentiment times puts a sour taste in the mouth. Proactive, reactive work always at the end of the funnel, and having to make do with what they had. And now let go. To those impacted today, please feel free to ping me on LinkedIn. Happy to keep an eye out for listings or even be a reference. Much love. The question is right now, and the question that I have, are these layoffs being motivated internally by Bungie or Sony? And the reason why I bring that up is because Sony themselves have been issuing a lot of layoffs. From Paul Tassi, art team, player support team layoffs as well. So Paul confirms here, final shape delayed to June pushes out of Sony's fiscal year, would make season 23 6 to 7 months long. It would delay the entire new episodic calendar. Yes, that's the big thing, is that it's going to mess with episodes so badly. Okay, so this is Paul's article from earlier. Destiny 2 developer Bungie hits with unexpected undue layoffs. While Sony paid $3.7 billion for Bungie, including $1.2 billion for staff retention, the developer has now laid off a number of employees on Monday, including some of its most forward-facing team members. While the totals are not yet known, many Bungie employees have posted they have been laid off from the company, including a longtime social media lead and 2 of Destiny's community managers. Reports are these cuts are mostly focused in publishing, but there are reports they may be some in engineering as well. Former community manager DMG, who was harassed in real life by a player, resulting in a Bungie lawsuit against the offender, posted about how continued echoes of poor decisions from poor management led to moments like this. Dude, what does DMG know? I'm sure he can't say, but this one tweet by him says so much, right? I do wonder what DMG means by this, because there's a lot more being said here, right? A lot more being said here. And it makes me wonder if DMG is actually going to be interviewed by maybe Paul Tassi or someone else. Hell, I don't necessarily do interviews, but I would love to talk to DMG just to pick his brain about a few things, you know, without digging too deep. DMG, if you want to come on, we can edit some stuff, you know. I'll let you give the final approval and we go forward with it. Now, while Destiny has always had its ups and downs as a series, this past year with the release of Lightfall marked a low point, with the expansion being one of the game's worst received ever. Bungie is about to wrap up a major Destiny 2 saga in the coming months with the release of its final shape expansion, but things are somewhat nebulous after that, as D2 development continues in live service format with no word about a true sequel on the way. Meanwhile, Bungie has revealed Marathon, its upcoming extraction shooter, and a more lighthearted multiplayer game currently codenamed Gummy Bears. But at least Marathon is still a very long ways out, and in a hyper-competitive shooter landscape, it's not clear if even Bungie's storied history is as an FPS developer is enough to make it the kind of mega hit that they and Sony need. Destiny 2 has been the profit driver here for a long time, and if that game is faltering, well, here we are. This will also no doubt raise questions about Sony's management, as they bought Bungie both for its own games, which will remain multi-platform, however. And so Bungie could advise other studios on live service titles. Being an expert in the space, but recent reports indicate that Sony may be scaling back its enormous live game ambitions from what they've said previously, and we supposedly heard that Bungie said that The Last of Us Factions from Naughty Dog wasn't up to par, and that the fate of that project now remains unclear. But the problem with these layoffs is that, of course, it is not management who is out after making many of the decisions which led to this point. It is lower rung employees who have nothing to do with the situation, and in this case, social and comms teams are already extremely underpaid and underappreciated in the industry. This is a story we've heard time and time again amidst a host of industry layoffs, and Bungie is the latest in a long line of studios where similar situations have unfolded. We've got a tweet here from Liana, who was a community manager. Well, my heart is breaking for all affected. I am now looking for opportunities. I have 21 years of game industry experience in media production and community management. I'm processing. I'm so heartbroken. I don't know what to do from here. This is my home. I feel so lost. With Chu having been laid off earlier this year, I am terrified. We're going to lose our house. More than that, I can't imagine not going into the studio on Fridays for hugs, goofing off with DPS, brainstorming with the raid team, accessibility. I just can't. Love to all. It's an extremely unfortunate situation at Bungie, and somewhat anger-inducing that it's come to this point where they should have every resource at their disposal, especially after the Sony acquisition, to avoid something like this. I will continue to investigate exactly how deep these cuts to days run. Let me just play devil's advocate real quick, guys. I wonder if all those CM positions that opened up over the past year to 2 years was opened up to try to find someone to fill DMG's shoes. And I'm not saying that it was the best, but at one time you had Deej, you had DMG, and you had Cosmo, and they literally were running everything, at least from a community management standpoint. I wonder if Bungie was trying to narrow down who would be filling DMG's shoes over that time frame. When are you going to start splitting stream on YouTube? Soon. But I don't know, guys. I don't know how much longer we're going to be streaming. When Destiny dies, you know. It's been a fun run, fellas. Truly. Final Shape gets delayed. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? We may get told that Final Shape is never going to happen. And that's it.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.